당도 디른 쇼게 제디 아주 동화세 안 띵이 되와 미리 나다 님이 찡이 되와 많이 봐시 띵이 되와 두고로 띵이 되와 토야디 저기 나저 동화 영화에 귀리 가서 레다뇨 뭐봐 레다뇨 뭐봐 빵제 빵비기 타르바 안 탐지기be 고와 토발라 토바이나 띵이 되와 두고로 지난디 토발라는 아주 냠녀 곰 냠는 제마도 ane top go mare sa dine gom nyamlen jebala dine nyom gom nyamlen jisa tin lüdin di khabar chen ko re jirwa sa lüdin khabar chen na ne da lüdin khabar chen ha da mi ko bang lüdin che denju gi milu mu che sa jirwa da di na ne ge denju gi milu mu na ne kya ane ji ge chang ju gi den di da ji ge chue ju ba la nyamlen che la den di ya sho re de za simje tham ji gi den da la sang ji ko bang top gu du sa simje la phem bu ju ba la 디 자네 야 nga 저기 kiwa chima 다른 nga 미래 kiwa chi마다 야 기용되는 남사 아니 야 코에 대화다 될래 마차 가지 콜 될라 타르게 삼바게다 안 될라 안 타르게 타바 토지기 띠엔 개발전 창주기 밀르 뭐 토버쇼세데 아니 뭐남게당 되네게다 밀르게네 안 창주리 류신 토바라 토비에게 돈달을 준주의 배지 해봐면 보용 쇼스 뭐는 자고 해야지 안 되고 쉬셔.
Good afternoon. So this morning we looked at how all of us who have a wish to be freed of problems and difficulties and to attain happiness that is lasting and happiness that is stable. So as to be able to actually attain such a state, then we need to identify the causes of our suffering and then eliminate those causes. So the causes of the state of samsara that we find ourselves in is the contaminated karma that we've accumulated under the influence of our own afflicted minds. And it's their presence that keeps us bound within cyclic existence. But when we abandon this karma, together with its seeds and all the afflicted minds, then we attain liberation from suffering, liberation from samsara, and we attain the state of lasting happiness that is not interrupted by even a mere moment of problems and difficulties. And that is the state of liberation or nirvana. So to achieve that goal, we need to meditate. And for our meditation to be effective, it needs to be based on reflection, which in itself is based on hearing teachings. So we need to receive teachings, reflect on them, and eventually be able to meditate on these teachings with calm abiding and meditative insight. But in order to be able to receive teachings, let alone to reflect and meditate on them, one requires a suitable basis. And amongst the various rebirths, the supreme basis is a precious human rebirth, a rebirth just like we have attained now. Having attained such a rebirth, we need to ensure that we continue to achieve good rebirths in future lives and utilize these rebirths well, without any laziness, but rather with great joy and perseverance from life to life to life, cultivating the pure life or virtuous behavior, and doing so from life to life. So this is the aspiration that to be made in the prayers that we looked at this morning.
제사 데니 인잠 데니기 김비텔라 도스체네 슈바이나 네 최체알야 네 고갑 뉴아당 창주체바이나 네 최체알야 고갑 야라고레 데니 인자 상유쯤nen데기 아니 지 개보레 아니 지 데니기 게세르와다 코르당 데니 롱주당 근데 지 같이 모여로 와다 데니 코르 요고 멍보여레 아니 몇 롱주에 첨보여레 안에 저기 미차상의 거부치고 왕탕 침보 이내 차상 된디 그 차상 빵전에 파샤하전에 가 보시면 샤하전에 바치 진지 랍중제네 되네 곰냠네 제제 안에 로주 가와제 되네 산유고마 도송으로와 산유고마 상계바로와 제가 되네 자 산유 줌는 디기 나한줄이야 랍제로 가는 거라서네 디기 나 경우도 이내야 상기고마 토벌 되어봐 요거 상유고마 토야 돼 토벌 제외이나 제기나 랍중제네 약쇼를 예순고로 다가지 랍중 띠인제 냠는 제제는 돈발랑 되네 랍중 띠인제는 취제 제외이나 아는 상유고마 토벌라 다니어로 요아토 투그리에서 배선로서 송디 송거로 와다 유고로 와
Advice that is being given to us in this verse is to follow the example of the founder Buddha, of Buddha Shakyamuni. So Buddha Shakyamuni was born into great privilege. He was born into a princely family, a family of great wealth and power. And when he grew up, he married and had a family of his own. And in that position, as a prince, as a married man, he didn't have much in the way of spare time and opportunity to engage in spiritual practice. And also there was difficulty in terms of living a pure life. If you think of the situation he would have had, he would have been surrounded by a retinue of servants, and he would have had many friends and loved ones. And moreover, his material resources would have been quite splendid. But seeing the faults of this and the limitations it placed on his spiritual progression, he abandoned all of that. He turned away from that, and he turned away from the lay life and went forth, or ordained. And he did so in order to be able to engage in pure practice, to live a pure life, and to practice. And it's through that then that he was eventually able to attain enlightenment. So the advice for ourselves is to follow that same example, and to do so as well as we can within our own lives. And it's also being said here that ordination, or going forth, is the very best basis for progressing quickly to enlightenment, due to being able to turn away from so many of life's worldly activities, and having far less distractions, and being more conducive to living a pure life.
김배 차상 김배 자와디게 빵제 안행한도 최님는 제바이나 그 지바 랍주나 지바 책과 그 가르선 고 차상 최시할 거 어떤 거라 근데 지금 밀러래 버르지 지금 밀러래 버르시나 지 김배 자와 남말래야다 시드레야래야다 아니 지금 총계다 차상 바시 하시는 바 안지게 파마가 잘래 바 친제 그 아니 지금 기디나 최님는 양양을 제제 주변에 산유고 뭐 도송으로 와. 지난 되는 인자 그 돈발 렘 말랭이 개발 제 그냥 소사기 돈발 렘 매바이나 그 소수기 다 김비 자월이야 배 교통제 내려야 되지 니마시 교다 교통 달래다 타고도 선배 예중 휴자고 개바이나 개나 되네 어 랍주 멤버네 김바 제바이네 냠는 제제 산유고 와.
This advice to aspire for ordination within this or future lives, this is advice that is applicable for the vast majority of practitioners. However, there's certainly amongst the variety of non-ordained practitioners, there are many who would be included amongst great practitioners, because they have a strong desire to achieving the goals of the Buddha Dharma, and that aspiration isn't left at a mere wish, but it has transformed their lives and led to them turning away from worldly activities, not being drawn into the variety of worldly distractions, and thereby are able to sincerely and earnestly strive in their spiritual development. The famous illustration is of course, Jetsun Milarepa. So, if those who know his story know he didn't engage in business. He wasn't bound to family life or to acquiring possessions or looking after his possessions at all. All he did is receive teachings from his teachers and put those into practice earnestly, vigorously. So certainly, amongst lay practitioners, there are many who practice with sincerity and can be said to be similar to the ordained in that they have turned away from the distractions of lay life, seeing the faults of cyclic existence, and with sincerity are striving for liberation. So therefore, it would be a mistake to understand this presentation as seeing as ordained as superior and non-ordained as inferior. That is the mistake. The meaning rather is that the most conducive circumstance is that of the ordained for the vast majority of people, but amongst those who are not ordained, there are those who are living a life as if they were ordained in terms of the sincerity and the effort that they place into their spiritual practice. Rabchungwa macha gomla bachide jebala
macha jebala su rabchung je yo maruda rabchung jebala barshe mangu yung go re che ane twinyin gu go re ane so ya go ya sho smolam je bachi
kuna nge sab rabchung macha gomla de rabchung chake ki chedu bache yore bache de so
rabchung chayala barshe yung go de ne barshe de mi yo sho sa da de rabchung 제바 이내 튕긴다 되게 강한 발심 그거 되네 발심 용어셔서 온디도 날만나 야래다.
Now, as we progress down in the text, the next verse then looks at there is a prayer that obstacles to attaining ordination be overcome, and once ordained, that may I have all favorable circumstances.
다니 rabdu chungwa jebala koradan yedu longje gangi kya geshe mebra tumbi kenamkun jidar samba shijin chubo shohose.
The fourth verse, and I'll read a slightly different translation. May there be no hindrance to my ordaining from friends, family, or possessions, and for every conducive circumstance, by mere thought may it appear.
Nagar sungsuna dani rabdu chungwa jebala koradan yedu longje gangi kya se. 당하고 근데 rabjung 제발라 바시에 망고 용고래 지래 다 간스 용고래 람나 안에 가시네 다 rabjung 제와선나 소소리아 근데 코 소소기 변주 첨부의 소소기 봐 요보다 되네기 어찌게 소 망고 쇼 제외나 니기 안에 델리아 차지 어당 rabjung 집 니차사 봐요 지게 매와 차사래 유변주 되게 매와 차사 되네기 요보디게 지금 매와 차사를 삼제 안 되네기 rabjung 제알이야 바시 지금 거래. 안데 니게 아주 오버디기나 어다 켜 rabjung 제 저번에 나딩한 주의 경험 원래 레갈레사라 사마 레갈라 사마라 켜지 마루라 제라다 니네 차네는 rabjung 제알아 바시 지금 거래 제래.
Look at the first two lines. It then highlights some of the obstacles that exist for people to ordain. May there be no hindrance to my ordaining from friends, family, or possessions. So where this is most evident is if one is in a position of power and or if one has wealth. Because if one were to ordain, then one turns away from that life. And then and to do so, this certainly will challenge the attachment that one has to power and influence, as well as to wealth and possessions. Then moreover, if one has many staff working for one, if they hear that you're going to close up shop and head into the monastery, they may become perturbed, thinking, we enjoy our work, we like working for you, you pay for us well, you're a great boss, and now you're going to leave us? This is no good, we don't want to lose our work. And being a kind-hearted person, then that will have an impact on you, and that will serve as an obstacle to one ordaining. So in one's life, one has a certain social status, the way one sees oneself fitting into society, and this then would be influenced by the kind of work you do, the influence one has over others, the power and prestige of one's work or one's role in society, and also as one's material status, one's material wealth. And so looking at all one is within society, thinking about giving that up and becoming nobody, thinking of ordaining and entering a nunnery or a monastery and just becoming one amongst others and becoming the most junior amongst others, this then can serve as an obstacle, because now one has status, people listen to what one has to say, they seek out one's advice, maybe respect is shown to one. And if all that is turned away from and one becomes a novice, a beginner in the ordained life, then that is something that is being lost, and attachment to that will serve as an obstacle. The pride that one takes in one's place in society, that serves as an obstacle.
Dene ane sosu punjare, sosu ki ane ngosingba drogwa digire, ane ode de rabchung maji kyo ni rabchung shende, dene yagwa mara sayada, ane sosu pama da jiso ode rabchung maji sayada, odu shin jigyo mara sayada, ane kyo rabchung shende pe kyo urwa, kyo lumba ne kyo rabchung shende nganzo le roba chekhan minduwa sayada, dene chene ane jige ko rabchung shaya maji se kagu urwa, ka jindi rabchung shaya
Then in terms of one's friends and family, so they also are quite likely to serve as a powerful obstacle to one ordaining. One's friends may think you just crazy, what do you want to do something like that for? Look at the life you have, you want to leave that? And others, especially then one's loved ones, one's close family, and those that one has a good relationship with, they may feel that you are turning away from them, you are rejecting them, and you criticizing them and the way they live their life, and they may not have the same ease of access to you now that you are wanting to enter this very new life. So your friends and your loved ones may well take this as a personal rejection. They may well look down on your decision. And both of those responses can serve as a serious impediment. Likewise, from one's own side, people that you've known for a long time, you care for, they care for you, wanting to turn away from that and separate yourself from them, this attachment too can serve as an obstacle.
Sanyu Jumdini Rabjung Chega Jodu, and Chazan Yedu di Gabla, and Sanawang Pesharwa. Chazan many Chazan Ya Lani Dudi Becavina, Narabsha Ruilani, came in that is which has actually Muisha Marora, she said, and Gatumla, the Pamadan, and the Lumboti Chasan Gatum Shagi, Yanga Europa, Europa, didn't Chazan needed to go to
And the founder Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni himself, he had a similar obstacle. He had a wife and a young child, and he was living with his family in the palace, and one presumes he had many friends and people that he got on with. And he knew they would not be happy with his decision to leave them and to head to the forest and live the life of a renunciate. So knowing that this obstacle existed for him, he kept it a secret and he told no one. And later at one night, when everyone was fast asleep, he snuck out of the palace and out of the gated city and headed into the forest. So he had this obstacle too, and he had to skillfully overcome it.
And Lumbuke Gabota, that Yamani Gabo, Dansani Gabo Sia, Marina, Lumbi Pomboda, Tesuki, Raptun Chichu, Mares, Gatum Giata, and Denigi, Ganga Mongurova, Dansani Puelia, Denis Mongoliura, Raptun Chichu, Maresiata, Yamai, Tujurini, Loline, and the Raptun Digipa, Chichu Mares, Raptun Digima, and the trouble. Mapapu said the Denig Mangu Kamajerwa.
Then going to Lord Tuxereni, de calling a
Casano. Lola, Dene, Kemigi, Mulwa, Sundi Kabla Dene, Travatiki Mangu, the Travel Law, or Travachichu Mare, said Chick Mad, Denig Kalamangujerwa, or Dina she down to the Peru Pesanus, Dene and Zang to Pulumbiki Pombota, Denig Tonea, one. Once you pay down here, and then Raptuncia Kaya, Deniki Pashi go legally.
Okay, so then you're going to drop a dance or console to any Hindu, Yamana Chiton Kukia to Denigos, because the Buddhist censorship of Tikapsi. And in our modern world, we don't live under the rule of kings anymore. We now largely live in democracies. But even in democracies, but certainly in authoritarian countries, then governments can make obstacles to ordination. So, for example, in modern-day Tibet, then the communist government certainly makes many obstacles to ordination. So in 1962, they decided that no need for monks and nuns, and they enforced the closure of all the monasteries and nunneries, and expelled all the monks and nuns, and enforced disrobing as widely as they could. So here, this is a clear obstacle to maintaining one's ordination or to ordaining. And in the present day in Tibet, there certainly isn't religious freedom, in that whomever has a wish to ordain cannot ordain. Whomever has a wish to join a nunnery or monastery cannot do so without permission from the communist government. And they have set strict quotas for the numbers of monks and nuns that may live in monasteries and nunneries. And these cannot be exceeded and can be reduced at any time. So in this way, there do exist obstacles to ordination. The situation in Tibet isn't that different now from what it was elsewhere in the world in centuries gone by, where the communist government takes upon themselves the authority to decide how many ordained there may be, who may ordain, and who gets expelled from the monastery or not. So this is something the communist government has taken on themselves, and in the past centuries in other countries, then kings, rulers, would have taken this authority onto themselves and thereby created impediments to ordination.
This don't Marva, then some Rajo, Dading Arabjun Chevena, and she this Chasan Pasha, and then Chasan Meva Charles, Lonju Chasan Meva Chason, then I Momba, the Anti Gobocha, Ninga, something, Delia, Lonju de Charge, and then Rabjunche, Gemato in Gure, Chesa Dizin, Lonju Diniche, Tesorian, Rabjunche, La Parche, Lonju Tone, Parche in Gore.
The Simpson Senna? Tsongkhapa in
Simjian Senna, Beju Mongoye, the Dinekas, Luke Mongoye, and the Neching Mangua to do Mongo Dapu Yuna, then part of Jujin, this is your Marva, or that is Chasam Chasa, some Yungro, the launch of Tone, so sort of Jujavala, Barshimong Yungre.
And thirdly, the text mentions possessions, and this is a very clear impediment to ordaining in that if one has to give up one's possessions, so maybe one's property, one's a variety of material possessions, and for some they're animals, perhaps those who are farmers, then these are things of some attachment, of some benefit to one, and thinking, if I give this up now, what am I going to do for material support in the future? I'm going to be poor, I'm not going to live the lifestyle I've been used to. My aspirations for the future in terms of what I could do if I had spare money, all of those I'll have to give up. So this way of thinking, this way of relating to our material possessions, this too serves as an impediment to ordination.
당도 rabjun 제바이 rabjun 마제바 디니기 통들야 레갈레 되어는 최제를 고급 뉴유로와 고아듯이 내가 뭐 쇼제 제다 안 되는 진짜 아니 rabjun 최제야 고급라고 말지사 rabjun 제야라 바시레스 완디네 인자다 한주 네 몰람 제비도 갑라 다니 rab도 중화 제발라 코다 니도 lonje 관계자 개제 매바라스 디니기 아니 anga rabjun 제야야 아니 마홍바 다디 미네다 Nobanga Rabjun Chelia, the Niki Barshi, and the Chiki, Korgi Toneta, and the Nido Toneta, Lonju Chene, Gangi Tonena, Barshi Mayon, Shu said the Niki Molamja or Regile.
So here the prayer that has been made is that from our friends, family and possessions, may these never hinder my wish to ordain. And this comes from a recognition that friends, family and possessions in and of themselves are not the fault, but it's the need to acquire, to maintain these that absorbs so much of our time and our energy, and thereby limits our ability to engage in committed spiritual development. It's our time to practice is consumed by our friends, our family, and our possessions. So the aspiration here is, may these never serve as an impediment to my ordaining.
And say, do Lord, as in that song that mean that mean Jimba, Pijataya, and then the Anji Sosuralia, and Cheshik and Cheting, Lama, and then Yabur Kuro, and the Anji on the Niku in that Anji Rabjun Cheche, and the Anji Sayaduya, do Kala Say, on the Josantaya Sayaduna, and then Rabjun Cheche, Jagi, Yamnachi Tumarva, Subuto Tumar, Subuto, Jason Subutoyala, Kala, Jason Kala, Guade, Kala Nuegi, that Twinjin, Gugor, Jason, Denigi Twinjin. Aji ne Nazara Cheche, Nazasona, and Major Jed, 나서 드라마도 보면 난 되리바나 최년 rabjun shebaine 최년은 지고 고급라고 말와 세상에 인자 먼저 네 나서 전화 면주시에게 면다 아니 지게 면주 면여기 아니 조선다 안 돼서 그거와 야 지금 되니게 나 놀러로 오시면 그냥 매매네 야 지게 저기 캬지 아니 수부 초도 말와 마도가 인자 야 대수이네 둘러고 뭐 진짜 튀비게 rabjun시에래 튀긴 돼서 야 지게 튀긴다 안 디면비게 아니 저기 룸발이야 아니 지게 배 막수다 되니게 지게 강아만 보이네 아디 rabjun이네 될이야 안 최시에 그거 갈래 하고 차거와 그래서 되니게 막수다 미용비게다 소소 rabjun체네 최년은 지서 룸바텔라 되니게 막수다 축제다 되니게 매월 쇼세데 되니게 튕긴디게 가서 그래 튕긴다 주발라 튕긴 세다 칼라다 둘로다 먼주제다 되니 튕긴디게 야고 상와지라고 쇼세지 몰음게네.
And the last two lines of the verse are for every conducive circumstance by mere thought to appear. So these refer to the favorable circumstances that one requires when ordained. Because if one ordains but does not have required favorable circumstances, then one's spiritual progression is still going to be impeded by the lack of conditions. So first and foremost, one requires a spiritual teacher, a qualified teacher that one has faith in, that one relies on, and whose teachings one receives and can reflect on. So this is a first quality that one needs, a first favorable circumstance. And then there are a variety of material circumstances which are also required. One needs sufficient nutritious food so that one's body can be sustained. One needs suitable clothing so that, depending on the climate, one can remain healthy. One needs somewhere to live where one is not out in the elements. And one requires medical care, because at times this body certainly does require medical care. And if any of these are lacking or insufficient, this becomes an obstacle to one's spiritual development. And then there are other outer conditions that would serve as obstacles, even though one may be ordained. But if warfare came to one's country, practice becomes seriously impeded. Or if there is a conflict between communities, this too then will stir up emotions and make practice very difficult. So here the prayer that is being expressed, that once having overcome all the obstacles to ordain, may I have all favorable conditions so as to be able to strive in my spiritual practice.
Lama ane chika che yabu chiku gore che mano machu bache ane dengen chiku gore deya ane sosu liya lamigi denyo de lama sosu jamba dan zeyun tone rang liya che dengen chiku gore deni si che den deni ki tiso rang zui che nyamne chibi tunge liwa jisa deni ki sosu rang rangi ane rabchung chi chi tuesam gomsum che bala deni ki che dengen naka jayang che che ge nyamne kogop che yueben rawa ine na chik che shegan mara de kanga yungurwa deniza 어디니게 내 튕기 최딩가 라마디게 야고 라월 쇼세야다 안 소소님도 안 최지 해 로바 조보야 조비 차네나 조보 야고 메디게 다 디와 냠도 최치에 연나 디소베 코로 소보다 뇨라 소네야 바시 응구로 디니자 아니 최조디게 이네야 베마시게 소소리아 판도가 야고 지금 와 쇼 데니게 튕기 야고 와 쇼세데 엄마남게 해야지
The primary activity of the ordained is to strive for the attainment of liberation and enlightenment, and this is achieved through hearing teachings, reflecting on those teachings, and meditating on those teachings. So these activities are the primary activities of the ordained, and in order to be able to engage in these activities, they need to have a qualified teacher, an authentic teacher to rely on. A teacher whose very being is infused by wisdom, by love, and by compassion. So in order to be able to fulfill the purpose of ordination, which is to wholeheartedly engage in studying and reflecting and meditating, a primary condition that is required is a genuine teacher. Moreover, one needs conducive companions to live with. Companions who add to one's harmony, who serve as examples to one, who aid one in one's spiritual development. Companions whose minds are not frequently overcome by anger, but rather who are genuinely kind-hearted, whose minds are subdued and pacified. Companions who serve as role models. So here in this prayer for conducive circumstances, then one too is praying for such conducive circumstances.
탈심바 지긴 세배 삼로 주요로다 디나신 소소 삼바나신 소수게 잡중제네 다 소수게 삼바데 가르요로스는 이 냠는 제제 상교 고만 토바지기 탈배 고만 토바지긴 세배 삼로 뒤로와 니터네 이 냠는 제 상교 고만 토바지 현来 펜버 주긴 세배 삼로 뒤로와 제제 미유를 마선 뒤로와 디네 인자 이 잡중제와라 바치 디니기 균 바치 되게 봐 명화지다 안 튕긴 rabjung 냠는 지야래 튕긴 되게 차상 약고용 되니게 용와래 되는 냠는 지죠 와랑 그 되바 나신 이 삼로 미유디 탐지기묘 산유고바 토벌지 인세베 삼바 나신이 산유고바 도고고바 토벌쇼세야다 니 산유고바 토벌 현례 펜버 두긴세베 삼바 나신이 현례 펜버 제침부 토벌쇼세베 안 되니게 몰람자 버려지래.
The prayer then is being made that all these obstacles that have been identified, may these never manifest. May all the conducive circumstances that have been identified that are required, may these arise in abundance. And may they do so just through the power of my aspiration, of this wish that I'm expressing in this prayer. And this power of my wish that is being expressed here, this power comes from my sincere wish to be a being of greatest benefit to others. My wish to have these obstacles never manifest and all these favorable circumstances appear in abundance is so that as quickly as possible may I accomplish the exalted state of Buddhahood so that I can become the most accomplished of guides, helping to lead others in their own spiritual development, their own inner development and attainment of liberation from suffering and full and complete enlightenment. So through the power of this aspiration to be of greatest benefit to others, may all obstacles never arise and all favorable circumstances arise in abundance.
탈바다 탐지 기비고 봐 토보고 그래. 지상 탈바다 탐지 기비고 봐 토야 토바이나 안에 랑에 띵게 되와. 현래에 펜바 야침부 주도 라신이가래 펜도 야침부 차고 그래. 디네자 디토와라 나 저기 띵켜바지 고고로 와서 띵켜바지 하다 미고 봐 띵켜바지 고고래. 지금 띵켜바지네 띵켜바지 하다 미고 봐 이네 나지 내가 먹고다 되네게 요라 먹고를 줘봐나 진짜 취재하라 바시레스 진짜 되네자 잡중제네 냠는 제 취재와디 다 바시 뉴쇼 취재하러 거고 약쇼 티레스 되네자 아는 거저 아니 마코 임제용도냐 삼노나야 누코와라 닝보메바 차심메바 닝보메바 다시 안 탈바세데 토우도 선배에 삼로 제다 안에 삼로 제다 안에 디마젠 타바 토야라 띵켜바젠 rabjung nyamlan che taba togudu jesa denige rabjung nyamlan che ala ane barshi myo wa ta ane denige 튕긴지 차상 주어서 살아다 안 되니게 잡중 미유제 대한 미유대야 상기고방 냠는지 터슴 공숨 타르 친지 상기고방 토야 되리 지사 소소 삼바 나시 터슴 공숨 대배 약고지 투제 안 냠는지 타르시다 상기고방 토벌쇼 신 레몰람 디몰람 야고 예수고 받아 아서
So the advice that Rinpoche is giving to us in this prayer is that recognizing this innermost wish of ours to experience only lasting, stable happiness and to be completely freed of problems and difficulties, we give rise to the wish to attain liberation from cyclic existence, liberation from suffering, and full and complete enlightenment itself. Because the attainment of that goal doesn't only bring benefit to ourselves, but it does to all sentient beings. And in able then to fulfill this, to fulfill this wish, one requires a particular basis, and that of a human rebirth, and in particular a precious human rebirth, is the very best. And for this precious human rebirth to be supreme, and to prevent one's life being consumed by worldly pleasures and by obligations to the fulfillment of goals that don't have much meaning, I need to sincerely reflect on the faults of cyclic existence, coming to see that the variety of activities in the world have no essence, they have no true meaning to them, and are not worthy of my time and my energy. And in order to be able to actually attain liberation from suffering, I need to attain ordination, and to attain ordination, may all of the obstacles that may prevent this, may they never arise. And when I've ordained, may I be surrounded by all the required favorable circumstances. And then, with these favorable circumstances, may I not take them for granted, not let them go to waste, but spend my life in study, in reflection and meditation, amongst or within a harmonious community, and relying on an authentic teacher.
제가 제름치기 몰람 제들이야 안에 가서 denjugi milirin bochi tawar shuwa sayad manam gyarwa jidan jidan tada miyu gopang tawya di ten la ane nyamlin che chue nyamlin che yakob yore ine ya da di na denjugi milirin bochi de yakshu res kare lamna denjugi milirin bochi di ten la ane bene dele tin tele ya ane nyamlin che ba ina ane nga zugi Geshe Thubten Rabten ngāwe nyamne chaya dāng chāsāng yu diwa chi dian dēli chi tūgu wā jisā mī yu lū dian dēla lē yu lū dian rū chi na dēli ya jisāng chue nyamne chaya yor dē na ngāwe nyamne chaya dāng dēni yu yor mā rēs dian chi rū mā rēs jisā mī yu lū dian dēla ane Geshe Thubten nyamne dāng ngāwe nyamne chaya chāsāng yu dian yā di mī rēs dā mī yu lū dian tōpa yu na dā dīring ane kārs mī yu lū dian tōpa yu na mī nā nē kia dā ngā zū ki dē kim바당 rabjung제제 쉐념네 제바나 rabjung제제 쉐념네 제데 쉐념네 제로 고 야가요레스 지상 튕겐 마소나 바시 뉴아레스 안 튕겐 야가요레 대자 네 rabjung이 때라 상요 가서 제투버쇼 세데 데모나 자제 손로다
to see then the relationship between the verses we've looked at and the verses now. So that yesterday we saw about the need to attain a good rebirth in our future lives as a basis to continue to practice. And whilst there are benefits to attaining rebirth as a god, a human rebirth is seen as better. And amongst human rebirths, one that is a precious human rebirth is of particular importance because it's only on this basis that one can practice both the bodhisattva paths combined with Tantra, or together with Tantra. So therefore, a human rebirth is seen as best. And now, we're seeing that amongst the human rebirths, between the non-ordained and ordained, the ordained, a human rebirth where ordination is received, this is best. Because here, there are far fewer impediments to being able to receive teachings, to reflect on those teachings, and then to be able to meditate on those teachings. So therefore, it becomes much easier to practice or to use the literal translation of practice, it becomes much easier to gain experience of what of the teachings one is receiving, reflecting, and meditating on. So that's the relationship between these verses.
And in it, the Molam Java Zamji, and the Milu Toya Cheyomare, and the Rabjun Chikchatukumara, the name Zanganju, Molam Jabne, that Densa, Denju Milu Toba Shores, Molam Jab, that Molam Jabne, then the Rabjun, Rabdujuma Yapochi, Toba Shores, Molam Jadi, Javan to Danganzuke, Kargu Sene, Denju Milu Toya, Gudi Karasa or Lamna, Kasan Shiva Nigeria, and that. Tsurim soyadi, lunga yisum yekone, nyejuya tempe tsurim soyadi da, manju milu tabi gyure. Ane, denju yi milu, da milu tabi gyo. Deli ya longjo choyadi, ane jimbe nyamlen chayada. Ane tsurim soybe nyamlen chayadi, ane wangpa tsangwa da, ane ji perkar sore, niga chenpo yoyada, on denegi chayada. Ane zunju yi nyamlen chayadi, 다 최리야 최냠len치야 고합 야보라야다 최리야 돈이 숙제야다 안데니시와 데니자다 몰람 잡디 다 몰람 디가르 겨워스네 근데 겨워치마 한 나주기 다 랍중 돈에다 겨워차 미리 데니기 수름송 서버콤 가소레 진비냠len치 데니 세베냠len치 전주냠len치네 데니가 좀 몰람 가르 겨워스네 당한 상이 어번에 땜바상이 줌nen디기 진죽제 진점nen디기 제수 주제한 랍중제 투버쇼 셋 랍중제 투버쇼 제가 다다디 몰람 겨와나지 랍도 중요하다 바시 탐제 바시 탐제 세제 안 튀긴 차상 루제 아니 랍중제제 퇴선 공숨 타르친제 산요고보 투버쇼 시 몰람 제들이 나디 몰람디 미류된 토비하게 된주 미류지 토야디 다대지 진보 주림세와 전주디기체 나한도 랍중 차액이 랍중 밀리다 랍중 차뱅에 봐요 막 랍중 차액에 참절 마선 유를 슈긴지 한데 가서는 다들 몰람들이 지사 랍중 제투버 쇼사 제네한테 랍중 제발라 바시에 탐제세 튕긴 가래 지나 차상 룹제 아니 랍중 제외 맞에 랍중기 제비 미유 퇴섬 공숨 되게 탑친제는 상유고 토버 쇼세 몰람 자고 레실에 언데니기 몰람 자바이나 아니 다 개와치마 아니 데니기 규사네 denju미르 머트비 규사네 엔텐데라 랍준체 토바쇼스 몰람 자베이나 아니 몰람 디기 네 마오바나 수름수에 규델라 데네 아니 미르 톱 아니 짐바 땅와다 세보콤바 전주 좀 받텔라 데네 소수기리아 튕긴디게 야보야다 원보 창야다 창와다 소수기다 미 시시chen 차야 아니 차야래 언제네 차야 언제네 차야도 갑라 데네 몰람 몰람디기 니비둘라 데네 소소이 랍중제야를 되바게야다 근데 랍중이 되바게데 랍중제야게 제 되바게데 랍중제야를 바체 탐제 세세 튕긴디게 야보용제 랍중제 투야데 용고레스 지사다 도로 지가제 디레다가제 귤을 마서나 디베지다 베사야레 디스타바이나 먼저 개와치마 네 데니기 denju milito ale sangi jumle ni tembala rabjung jeje anyam je를 거브래 이로다.
If one only makes prayer for to attain a precious human rebirth or to attain ordination in the future, that alone will not lead to the attainment of human rebirth or of ordination. The further causes need to be accumulated. So to mention these briefly, because they were mentioned yesterday, one has to develop the practice of ethical conduct, the mind of restraint or a subdued mind, a mind that then does not bring harm to others through being subdued and thereby doesn't physically or verbally bring harm. That is the primary cause to attaining a human rebirth. Then the cultivation of the practice of generosity, the mind that wants to give, the mind that wants to help. This creates the causes to ensure that one has abundant resources in future lives. The practice of patience, which is the mind that stays unperturbed in the face of adversity, this ensures that one's sense powers, the sight and sound, etc., sight and hearing, are unimpeded. and moreover, that one has harmonious relationships with others, and one is able to have a positive influence on others. These are the results that come from patience, so this also needs to be cultivated. And then from cultivating the mind of joyous perseverance, the mind that delights in virtue, then this will not only serve to make our practice much stronger, but it will ensure that in future lives we will have the wish to engage in practice, wish to engage in spiritual development. So these four practices then need to be combined with prayer, and the prayer then to make would be that in all our future lives, may we meet Buddha Shakyamuni's Dharma at a young age, generate great faith in it and in the teachers of it, and become a student of the Buddha and the Buddha Dharma. And thereafter, may there be no obstacles at all to my ordaining. And having ordained, may I have an abundance of favorable circumstances, and use these favorable circumstances as well as possible to spend a life solely engaged in study, reflection, and meditation. And it's this prayer here that marks out, that differentiates this practice from being one that is motivated just to achieve a precious human rebirth, but to go to the other side of the boundary, to aspire for more than a precious human rebirth. A precious human rebirth where one is ordained and spending one's life cultivating the minds of the Buddha Dharma within oneself. And if one cultivates all these causes together, then one is creating the causes through ethical conduct to have a human rebirth, through generosity to have a human rebirth with an abundance of resources, with patience for good physical health as well as relations with others, and for joyous perseverance with the wish to engage in virtue. Then this, combined with the power of this prayer, will ensure that in our future lives the wish will arise within one to ordain, and to ordain so as to spend one's life in spiritual development, and to spend one's life in spiritual development so that one can rapidly progress to enlightenment for the sake of others. So this is the meaning of the prayer that is made here.
Nyewada, Ida, Dundro, Ye, the Nasola, the Haskiosana, and to Shalia, so church, Lugune, Shalia, so church, and then so chippy, Jawa Chimochi, the Deepa Chimbo side, the Digan, Nasol, Lesagorova, and so church, and Chishangi, Jala Kumakuyare, Kumape, Kumakune, when Chiki Troyara, and then Lugune, so church, and the Rangi, you go to social machine, send on the bed, meeting, so good, this so subject, so much Michelia, Chick, Tashi Tajima, Suada, Denigijada. Denigijada, this one, and Jeo, this one, Garden, Nasolaki, Guchagore, Nasolaki. Chesanazuki, you go to Neju Dom, that you. So said the Simchen, we said that our Simchen can so may some lot so you do so to Sungora, so Sungo. This soon you do so Jimmy, some lot the Gazi, Shuchena, and the Shan so to share the Ungomara. So to Majabana, and then Yawaki, Gucci Mela Chagua. It's not D and then Yawaki, Gucci Mela Chavana, she didn't get all of that, and the Gawaki was yes at the Yana, Nasolki or Yana, dinner, Dinima de Omare. Just dentro che Gudi Kasha Vaina, dentro che Gudi Nandro che Gudi Kasha Vaina, and Nandro che Gudi Mihas and Nandro che Amara. That you or a Gawaki or a dentro che Imberwa. Dinashing answer. Just that me Nahagone, Shale, Tsusu Shiata, and Jason Shiata, and Wagon Dipasag me, some song or do, the name I went Dipasung and I went Dipashago. You go and never give me some song, you go and shall never give over, so cheap, Chavata, Kumokuada, and Zen, Loyim, Zen, that in Umara, Medu, and the Dipa Chasanga, the you go and Shalia, Nasim, Nursem, lokdadiki kigim jingme samyodu dene naksimda nösim miljere nögedikar mangchangazul nösim shenle nöbe samba dene shenle jaksan sheli gor kohor taali gor shen nidung taali gor shen suyali gor wa chisan din naksim jigme sambi nösim nöbe samba jigme sambe samsungyodu nöbe samba mena ane samba yaga chinguru wa pembe samba yone misyu mare kohor tang mare kumaku mare dene enza dene ka ashodu chisan ngazul 나선의 계획이 규리가 가고 다 같이 추름 송세대. 용화 있으면 거는 예주였던 그 추름 송고래 라도 송여도 가를 가고 버렸으네. 나선의 계획이 규리 가고 버려. 나선의 계획 규리 가고도 아니 가서 추름 송에 그런 된저 계획 규샤는 거래. 진짜 내내 자시로도 가와지 그랬으네. 근데 나선의 계획 규리 가서를 매래. 진짜 된저 계획 규사서 진짜 된저 계획 힘으로 와. 진짜 된저 계획 완전 당 저기 된저 계획이다. 대신한 저게 상여 주는 지게 된발라 잡주 중화시에 잡주 중화지 투버쇼 세 몰람자다 라준제를 바시 미용하소 몰람자다 아니 지게 잡주 제네 아니 삼바나신 돈다디 야고 투버쇼 몰람제디 니 슈킹이 토네 아니 기엔지나 아주 몰람제디 잡주지 투가 잡주지 근데 냠는 제도 고브라도 그거와 디네자 르가 있으니 제디 수름 송고래서야디 수름 송와나 하나 가서 하나 미고 봐도 규칙을 해서 김전으로 들어와.
We've heard now expressed several times that the primary cause for attaining rebirth as a human or God is ethical conduct. So I think it's worthwhile to take a few moments just to look at why this is the case, so to establish the reasons behind this rather than just to make a pronouncement. So there are two possibilities at the time of death. We either end up falling into the lower realms, marked by far greater suffering than anything we've experienced, the lower realms of the animal spirits or hell realms, or we remain in the happy migrations of humans or gods. So other than those two pathways at the time of death, there isn't another option. And what leads us in one of these two directions is whether one is the karmic ripening result of either ethical, which is virtuous behavior, or unethical, which is non-virtuous behavior. And they propel one in one of these two directions. So if one has accumulated, so the negative karma that one may have accumulated through taking life, through killing, through taking what isn't one's own, through stealing, through and indirectly perhaps causing harm, through encouraging others to bring harm to someone else, all of these lead to causes that will ripen in rebirth in the lower realms. This is unethical behavior, unwholesome behavior, negative behavior, which creates causes which ripen in the propulsion of a rebirth into the lower realms. However, the practice of ethical conduct, this mind of restraint, so this is a mind that commits to not bringing harm to others. And then to take this mind and to break it up into the various ways that one is going to refrain, that one is committing to refraining, one breaks this up into physical, verbal, and mental activities. The physical activities would be the commitment not to kill, not to steal, not to engage in sexual misconduct. And in terms of speech, then here the commitment is not to lie, not to speak harshly, not to speak in a manner that is divisive, or to engage in idle speech or gossip. And so, with these, as well as those that will follow, the stronger this commitment, the greater the virtue that's accumulated. The greater this virtue means the greater one's ethics are, and therefore the greater the causes, the greater in strength, the greater in number, the causes that are accumulated, that when ripened will propel to a rebirth in a happy migration. And this is then also the case in terms of the negative karma that one is committing not to engage mentally. And this is the minds of covetousness and harmful intent. And it's these minds that lead to the negative physical and verbal behavior. So they're the most difficult to subdue, but the most important to subdue. Especially this mind of harmful intent, because that leads us to directly harm others through either physical activity or our way of speaking. So these minds, in particular the mind of harmful intent, but also the desirous mind of covetousness, these need to be subdued, to be tamed, to be pacified, and thereby we will be guarding our ethics well, we'll be developing this mind, the subdued mind well, and stopping the accumulation of causes for rebirth in the lower realms. That is the meaning of ethical conduct. Stopping the accumulation of causes for rebirth in the lower realms. And not only are we closing that door, but due to the virtuous karma that this mind of ethics is creating, we are creating the causes for rebirth in the upper realms as a human or God. And then, if we combine this practice of ethics with the prayers that you heard last night or now, then we will also be creating the causes for a precious human rebirth, or a precious human rebirth that is marked by having faith in the Buddha Dharma and wanting to spend one's life engaged in the cultivation of the minds of the Buddha Dharma. In other words, that in our future lives, on the basis of a precious human rebirth, to become a follower of the Buddha and to continue to engage in the cultivation of the minds of the Buddha Dharma through spending a life studying, reflecting, and meditating. So this then is the reasons why ethical conduct is the cause that leads to rebirth as a human or God.
Molam jadi kapline sosugi jimbe nyamlenje surim son de supe nyamlenje zonri zom da samde da tin shedap nyamlenje ne jetumne yakolwada gan jetu denigi an nyamlenje ne molam jebdi deji a zogi a sai jimde de tembala rabjung jeje an rabjung tarshimo yong shos molan jaware yakoresu dina shin dang a zogi dada Lama Sosorangi, that jig, Chuagi, Gendike, Denige, and Gen, Che Yamlin, and the jig, Jamze, Jen and Che, Jig Yamlin, Lapkin House, Lapke, Givishin, and Jig Yapuchita, and Tower Shores, Java Shores, and the Mon Jade, and the Masse and House that Sosorangi Lama in that been 저기 야얼음 치료 신내라 단 직접을 치료 신내라 소수기 달라마 소수기 님이 라마 대바지 라마 지세 수인내라 얘네기 돌이야 안 소소하게 기디 이내 체험네 체험 활동아 라마지가 충분히네 아리 라마 충서 될라 유디 lum바들게 라마티 전에 하는 최슈 아니 대바지미 최슈지 아니 자주 셈나 동의도 비시라라 소파 태바침이 죄라 안 퇴섬 공숨제 냠는 탈심을 용어쇼 세디 아니 되니게 몰람자래 몰람자 안저인다 야얼음치로 지세는데 답변에 야얼음치로 근데 마음바나 가 추면이 되려가래 마 사지텔게 알라마티스 결혼잖아요 즉 취슈 태바침이 취 주의전 퇴섬 공숨제의 냠는 제라고 쇼 세디 언두스네 아주 몰람자디
And in addition to engaging in these four practices of ethics, generosity, patience and joyous perseverance, and making prayers for a precious human rebirth, and to continue our practice in the most conducive of manners, that of the ordained, I want to encourage you to include one more aspect into your prayer, and that is, in all future lives, may I come under the care of a fully qualified spiritual teacher who is enthused with wisdom, love and compassion. And may I spend my life at his feet, engaged in study, reflection and meditation on an abundance of teachings. And if you and those teachers that you already have a close connection with in this life, whether it is His Holiness or Lama Zopa or whomever the teacher is that you rely on, make the prayer that in life after life, wherever our teacher chooses to be born, may I too be born there. Meet them at a young age, immediately have faith in them, and spend my life receiving teachings from them, reflecting on those teachings, meditating on those teachings. And in this way, develop the exact same qualities of wisdom, of love, and compassion that my teachers have. And may this continue life after life, until I fulfill my teacher's heartfelt wish of attaining enlightenment myself for the sake of all sentient beings.
송제 안에 나 근데 소주 마제발 너무 마송네야 소주 마제 미요로 왔다는 소주를 그 메디안 소주 마제 미용고로 와 그다음 아주 내 구마마과 용고래 구마마고에 마치 아주 구마고에 당 소주 치야다 디지교 말와 이니 인자 다 domba 되니게 나 저기 수름 송제 삼는 날이야 네디 지금 매선 비 수름 송제 안에 소주 마제바다 마제바는 수름 송아래 그래서 소수게 되니게 삼는 날에 켈링 가면은 소주 마제바 레디네 소주 지비기 소주비 수름 송고 말와 수름서 송고 말 그래서 소주 마제바 레디네 수름 송고 말 밀리 토비게 안에 규르버제 작고 말와 되니 인자 수름 송고를 해지. 지난 수름 송안에 뺀맛이 계시 뭐 차리로. 계시 뭐 인자 랍중 전에 수름 송에 야쇼되지. 다기시다 가시 랍중 gün에 랍중 세대 제투사 말레스 지나 이네 안에 수름 송에 매번 말레스 텔이야. 수름 송에 고갑지산 이게 고나라. 딜 기인이도 뭐 줍지네. 기인들이야. 기인도 뭐슈. 수름 송에나 수름 송고를 찍바로. 데 마뉴이 개발마 랍중 다기인도 뭐 수름송에 대해서 마뉴이 개발마도 되는 기인도 뭐 송와이나 아니 수름송고래 르가 예수님 예제되면 수름송고래 그다음 밀리티비기 규사고래 아니 다 되는게 기인다 제투사 말에 섬섬을 예나 안 될이야 아니 얘네게 좀 봐서데 님직 얘네게 좀 봐서 저러와 되는 님직 생리야 아니 도모송야지 난거로 봐 진짜 되는게 아니 님직 도모송웨네 니미치리아 domba ngazu lungais nyejitu surum soine 대한 밀리토 규차 차두고 봐. 되네 인자 안에 되네기 안에 상유 좀 된대기 나 domba송에 되게 친구이나 될이야나 랍중 domba송 거래사나 안에 되네기 되네라 domba송 맞은 거지네 랍중 제마도나 김비 dom바네 김바네 내제 안에 긴게 domba송야 다 긴게 domba송 마도 두스라 되네 맞으면 님이 찍으리야 아니 domba송야게 domba송야 꼭꼭 두스지네 안진 바시 나요로.
Another point that I think is important to make is, in the context of ethical conduct, is there are thankfully many people in the world who have the imprint of not taking enjoyment in killing or harming, who don't have any wish to steal and take from what isn't theirs. So this, of course, is wonderful that they don't engage in this non-virtuous behavior, but by merely naturally not engaging in this behavior, they are not engaging in the cultivation of ethical conduct, and therefore their mere not killing, not stealing, is not leading to the accomplishment of causes for good rebirths in the future. This is because ethical conduct is a mind. So people who just naturally don't kill or steal, for example, they are not accumulating non-virtue, but they are not accumulating the virtue that comes from guarding ethical conduct because they haven't developed the mind of ethical conduct. Ethical conduct, being a mind, it needs to be generated, and when generated, being a mind, it creates a result comes from that mind, which is a cause to attain a good rebirth as a human or God. So therefore, the important point to be made here is that by merely not engaging in a negative deed, one doesn't create the virtue of guarding ethics. To guard ethics, one has to generate this intentional mind of, I'm not going to do this. And then, through the power of having this mind, this intention, karma is created. And amongst the various minds of ethics that one can create, it's the best is to take vows, and amongst the vows, the best is that of the ordained. But if for those who are ordained, then you already have these on your continuum. But for those who cannot ordain, then they can choose to take the lay vows. And the lay vows are similar to the ordained vows in terms of guarding against the main negative deeds. In fact, really the only difference between the lay vows and the ordained vows is the quantity. Both serve as a practice of ethical conduct. Both lay and ordained vows serve to create the causes to attain a precious human rebirth or rebirth as a god in future lives. So for those who cannot take ordained vows, should ideally take the lay vows. And if for whatever reason you can't take the lay vows, then you can take one-day vows. And those vows just last for a single day. And during that period, whilst this mind then is present, you are creating the causes for a good rebirth. You are guarding your ethics. And by the power of that mind, of having taken that vow, you're creating the causes for good rebirth. So certainly, I would encourage the aspiration for ordination, or until ordination can be achieved, that one takes lay vows, and until lay vows can be taken, that one takes the one-day vows.
But Sabona Jeba Pompa Tarba the Toku Sambi, Dangasanji go want the Toku Minute, Samja Tamji doing the Jetu Samar, around Tarba Toku Sambi, some time you Kuno Delaya, Tarba doing Saba, Rangi Dondala, Tarba doing Saba, Kuno Dile. Kuno Dito and Tarba Toku Sambi, Kuno Dito and Yamlan Jele Garazan, Jimbe Yamle, Sudrian, Sudrian, Zunian, Shirayam, Jibare. That Taras Kishma, that Yawachama, Lada, Migo, my talk to Nanson, the Tarji, Tada Migo, what talk to some che, Donier, Tada Mi, Donier, Sambachi, Munduko, don't do Yerche, Ditovia, Dondala, Laga, Yamlin Chair, Callison, Jimmy Yamlin, Sudrin Yamlin, Subi Yamlin, Zundri Yamlin, someday, Shira. Yamlin Chair, so did that, Kuno Dilia, Joseph Cavayo. Is that Dinane Matubo, Mangeta, that Dicaliantic. Those Yamniche, but Gacher Davan, Mitaba, some died, the Duma Sata, the Gacher, the legal watches, Yamniche, that's all the dissolute.
Another point that I think is important to make, so that one can be very clear on the importance of the practices that we've been referencing this weekend, is that for someone who has the wish to attain enlightenment for the sake of others, someone who aspires to enter into the paths of a bodhisattva and become a Buddha for the sake of others, then they engage in the cultivation of the minds of love and compassion, leading to the actual generation of bodhicitta. And bodhicitta is a mind that possesses the aspirations of wanting to lead all beings from a state of suffering, and to do so they commit to attaining enlightenment for the sake of others. So under this motivation of bodhicitta, which is that mind, then the bodhisattva or the aspirant bodhisattva engages in the practices of the 6 perfections: generosity, ethical conduct, patience, joyous perseverance, concentration, and wisdom. For those who hear about the paths of a bodhisattva, maybe they find them very inspiring, but a little bit daunting, and have come to see, though, that cyclic existence is pervaded by suffering and have given rise to a genuine wish to be freed of suffering. But unlike the bodhisattva, they feel that to take responsibility for this vast multitude of beings and lead them all to enlightenment, and having that as the primary objective, is really a bit too much. So such a being then has as a motivation liberation from cyclic existence. Under that differing motivation, they engage in the same practices: generosity, ethical conduct, patience, joyous perseverance, concentration, and wisdom. The practitioner who says, I can understand how good liberation would be as well as enlightenment, but in all sincerity, I haven't given rise to that mind. But I don't want to fall into the lower realms. I need to ensure that my next rebirth is okay. And to ensure that my next rebirth is okay, under that motivation of achieving a good motivation, then the Dharma practitioner will engage in generosity, ethical conduct, patience, joyous perseverance, and also concentration and wisdom so as to aid their spiritual practice in the future lives. So I'm emphasizing this point to show that the motivation may well differ, but the practices actually are exactly the same. They are motivated by differing minds depending on the goal, but the practitioner still needs to cultivate the minds of ethical conduct, of patience, joyous perseverance, etc., those 6. So there's a lot of similarity there. There is a broader way to look at the Dharma that includes practices such as impermanence and others, but those are the main 6 practices.
Sanji go to Tarba said Toku, Tabat Tabnu Sambiki, Samataje, Di Tone Anzuki, Chimotsurin Subi, Yaman Chebana, Digi, Ta, Mulmason, Nubade, Comaton Rachito, Samtani Gorva. Dene Semjan Tam Jigi Dondala Sanji go to Chesan Sanji go to Yangi, Chimotsurin Subi, Yaman Chicken Sebe, Chimba, Passion to Yaman Chadi, Da, Mulmasona, Bumchi to Nubaro Samtanva. 제가 아디네자 고마자 자기 뉴바다 안에 동자지 뉴바다 봄지 뉴바 지여바나 봄지 여바나 고마 동자지 녀야디 차산 유튜브가 차산 유튜브를 고마 야담복이 녀 차산 유튜브 차산 녀 고여와 안다 니네 인상 땅 저기 진비 진바 추주 주변 냠네 제야디 군로 전주 셈지 군에 랑지 진바다 추주 주변에 냠네 제바 이나 디게 냠네 뉴바 디기 땅도 메니 다른 마선데 셰바나신 탈바다 탐 이게와 치마 나 저기 된다 디 뉴바디 차사 디나다 창도 거와 제가 디네자 다등아 저기 진비 냠네 자주심 육군에 랑지 진바다 추주 주변에 호 제바에는 나도 체del이야 아니 지기 자주심 차마도 보이네 타바를 토모도 자주심 차마도 보이네 개와 치마 저 하다 미店토야다 안디들라 안가 저기 취지하고 거라바니 규디다 알아서고 와 믹스이랑 내가 미 하다 미고 와 토야게 돈다 인삼 먹어 삼 거예요 말와 제가 니네 인상 샘제 탐지기 돈다라는 게 산적고 봐 토바치기 디 돈다라 아니 냠네 지치기 사바이나 디 사 집에다 주주집에 냠네 진다 다가랑 개와 치마 하다 미고 봐도 규차고 그래.
So if one has the sincere motivation of a being of smallest capacity, that is, to attain a good rebirth in our future life, and to achieve this then accumulates the causes of engaging in the practices of generosity, ethical conduct, patience, joyous perseverance, concentration, and wisdom, together with prayer, then the result that can be attained, for the sake of the illustration, we'll say is $100. Another practitioner has given rise to renunciation for cyclic existence, has seen clearly that there's nothing worthy striving for within samsara, and that liberation from the suffering must be attained. So this person then engages in the same practices, but under the influence of a far more powerful motivation. And they practice then ethical conduct, generosity, patience, joyous perseverance, concentration, and wisdom, and they attain their result. and for the sake of this illustration, we'll say is $1,000. Then the practitioner of greatest capacity, they too have understood the need for good rebirths. They too have understood the need to be liberated from cyclic existence, but their wish is to do so for the sake of others, so as to become the most skilled of guides for others to become a Buddha. So under this much more powerful motivation, they engage in exactly the same practices of generosity, ethical conduct, patience, choice, perseverance, concentration, and wisdom. And their result, we can then say, is equal to $100,000. So what we have here is the same set of practices, but with differing motivations, and due to the differing powers of that motivation, those same practices lead to different size of results. $100, $1,000, $100,000. And with the ever larger result, one is able to achieve so much more. Just like in this life, if you have $100, or you're given 1,000, or you're given 100,000, you can do very different things with that. So likewise, under the power of these differing motivations, ever greater results that have ever greater potential to benefit are achieved. And here, just like if one has $100,000, one also has $1,000, and one also has 100. It's all included in there. Or likewise, if one has the $1,000, that 100 is included in there. Whichever of these higher goals one achieves, the lesser goal's result is included. In the same way, the being of greatest capacity is striving to be of lasting benefit to others, through the power of that motivation will achieve good rebirths and will achieve liberation from suffering. The practitioner of intermediate capacity, who's striving with the core of their being to attain freedom from suffering, so the power of that motivation, they will achieve the lesser motivation of good rebirths until liberation is attained. So therefore, the point being made here is that the power of the motivation through the same practices leads to a very different size of result. That size of result leads to a far greater ability to be of benefit, and moreover includes the preceding lesser results as well. So if striving for Buddhahood, one doesn't need to worry about whether one obtains good rebirths or not, or whether one will transcend suffering or not. Those lesser attainments will still be attained.
Dini zadang anzu kasanda diringi dini son jeshubiki da anzu ke samna taegi da nini nidel yang anzu samna de kan sta re lamna da anzu shogan ba zu ni se yodna da jige sangye ge zhenje sangye da susugi da che de be lama de pa zhenje da be ma sige de gonjo sumya ya 대바로 체체 배 직동아 타다를 기비 니바데 곤조스미 켄 셈비 곤조스미야 대바지네다 나는 되게 당보시 삼르시다 당어주 냠는 제나로와도 니네니를 떼서 제에 롭스 주베나 니네 삼단다 디링 땅아 미래 미류를 도와팅아 고갑에 야고라시 저서 미류 자 침보래 다다 니 최지 냠는지 제마도나 그디시 내봐 요마다 시소는 안 냠는 제고 그러기도 하지서 다들 밀리 토바들 게 지금 냠는 제고도 삼제 아니 되네 삼제다 뭐 대안에 지 두수 공화들이야 아는 거죠 다 삼제다 제대 대화도 봐 랑나신 대화도 봐도 도마미도 봐 지바래 지사 먼저 차상 코와를 줘야지 큰 코와를 줘고 코와 딜레데 타고도 코와를 탈비 탈바스 타고도 삼시다 니버데 다 숨바데라 다시선 코와를 타고 인자 심전 탐제 대화도 봐도 도마미도 다 내 지기 심전 탐제 대화단 자 대화의 템바데 내 탑시지기 심전 탐제 누가 잡아데 내 탑시지기 지사진에 심전 탐지기 되네게 플라섬 되네게 삼다 다 디네 자다 내 탑시기에서 내 심전 탐지기 돈달라 내 사지고 마톰 등이 젠랴 안 두하세다 디기트간에 주투고래 지상에 사지고 마톰데 탑면도 삼제 내 심전 탐지기 돈달려 사지고 마톰으로쇼 삼제가지 몰람 자와래 몰람지 디네도 세 삼다리 자주셈 삼고미야들이 지사 되니게 삼로디 심자 탐지 사유고바 토벌지요 쇼 선배 삼로도 체네다 되스지콤 다 디젤이야 사유 토벌쇼 삼 체위젤라 다 산주고바 토발라 냠는 가르치고래 냠는 제 톱는 마도 토벌쇼 삼바 좀 토야 하면도 제사 냠는 제다 니 진보 수준 쇠바 파신 줄에 냠는 지기 삼제 냠는 지기 선배 삼로 다 지루와 나 냠는 제나데 삼다도 다 냠는 가르치고래선 수준 쇠야 돼 디링이 융아 유순유권에 시한래 뇌비 자와서도 샬래 뇌바 싸우는 지금이야 삼제 디삼로디 파 인간도 전에 삼다제 감직스 되나 디니션 지금에서 삼들 송해야 돼 근데 주름 송해야 돼 다 주름 냠내 제시래 다 디니게 수준 지금에서 삼로 쇼에 삼야래 님고다 기디 되네 양 삼나 기디 나디 삼 된그 지나지고 봐 되는 이바들다 진비 냠내 시도 당이 류다 롱주 안에 지게 소수기 롱주기 토네나다 안에 소수기 연등이 차이나다 소수기 류기 뉴비 토네나 셴리아 지게 야권철이야 최고 부야다 연등다 권철이야 소수 롱주가 같이 최고 부기 삼삼다들이 삼다 되네 미교다 셴달이야 로제디 소수 변지기 토네나다 소수기 연등이 토네나 소수기 류기 뉴비 토네 셴리아 펜바까지 두기 스밍이 셴리아 파투수 파제진 로지기 삼제 삼노다들이 디삼다디 진비냠네지 거래 다 야푸이 툼나나 니 로제 투에 무 여바지 로제 투에다 야권철로 최고 푸이 툼나 야보로 와 그시 매바 이내야 푸에가 소설이야 되니게 차견로 매바 이내야 소설 삼노나려야 니 지기 내가려야 되니게 니 변조라다 가리토네시안 로지기 삼노다디 도래다 디 진비냠네지 거래 되니게 삼노디 진비냠 가지 디지베 냠네 다 쇠베 냠네세도 다 되네 다다 디지 마취 제바 냠네 제발이야 직강할 용을 때 강하여다 같이 나 되니게 냠네 제데 셴레 펜버 두바다 되네 냠네 제데 마시 제고래서 비게다 쇠투야다 강하가지는 지기 있으면 삼는다 다 미션다게 컨트롤하야다 제나게 근데 강하로 지테면 야 팔이야 지 컨트롤하게 매 삼비게 니 셴레 컨트롤하지 너비게 삼 자오지 당게 삼비게 파 세 마추바지 되투와 지긴 셈베선데 수베냠네래 다 준비 냠네세야디 다 대신한 저기 주름송야다 집에 냠네 되니게 삼다 빼면서 야보르샤 다 되니게 냠는 제야디 제야디 빼면서 야보르 기디나 지긴 셈베 되녀 듬바게야다 되는 아주 최 냠네 퇴야다 최쉬야다 네 제야디 빼면서 야보르 되디 기디나 지기야 셈베 듬바게야디 준비 냠네래 지난 되니게 냠는 셔야디 저기 디래 다디가라야 다 띵이지 냠는 셔야디 소소라라게 지기 상기랴 소 미제 제 로션다 마야와제 제지도 상기랑 삼다지 제지도 네 제지 네투와 제바이나 띵이제 삼대 냠는 지고로 안디마제 소소 소수 귤랴 샘제 탐지기도나 상기고바 토바쇼 샘베 삼디랑 삼제 샹다 가야 마삼바제 델랴 제지도 루신 되베네 먼저 삼대 냠는 지고래 삼대 냠는 지고 나 루신 다시랍 냠는 세야디 제사 당한테 제바체야디 난 나도 제바체야디 제사 제바치도 오당 아주 동화세가 동화세 같은 쉬운구도 제사 동화야 유가르샤 파제바데 규디 다방투야 리도 민도 제바체도 나도 동화야 규디 하고 그래 되네 규디 같은 수 규엔가르샤 방투서레 말 제바치도 규디 방요 방규여바 방투여바다 하고 도와 제사다 녀몽바세데 방야라 아니 가르치 방고도 세데 다 아니 다음에바 녀몽바 다음에바 또 베셰랍디 곰치 방고도 선배 삼노통 하고 요 제바체디와 되네게 제바체디 아니 아주 셰라게 냠내세야 당아주 니네 되네게 냠내지 이제 다 아주 님이 지리야 다 되네게 쇼베 지라 제다 님고 두수여나 님고 제다 내 님고 여로지야 다들 두세 가지나 가지 투두라지 나 타마들랑 좀 몰람 다 지게 쇼베 제사 제야 되네게 두수지 냠는 제사마 잠샤도 겁리도 몰람 제야디 다딩이 몰람 아주 계셔 사샤바 디기 델라데네 제와치마 아니 지게 denju milu mochi top bine bine sanye chumne de rang lama da sanye chumne de lama kang du yoba de ya ma ye ani la me zan ani sanye chumne de gi chue ya ani rap chung che nyam len che ani tyaba chim bu gi chue ani nyam len che ra ho sho sa de ani de ya ani jewa 세랍 탐지도 되는 냠네 지아라와 쇼세 몰람 갸디레 세상 되는 자와이나 냠네도 제 삼다와이나 가지고 다 냠네 도리로지 되네시래 다 가지고 지금 람림 TV 냠네 제가 최슈와이나다 다 도타미고 슈와이나다 되는 냠네 제대 내가 가지고 되네시 냠네 지아라와 다 되는 냠네 제도 누버처로와나 되네 아직 동이게 따위 남자 제바 제 띵에 지금 신의 주야다야 지금 야철다 여러와 당한 쪽에 내가 되네시 또 상단에 근데 냠네 제든데 셔라 뒤수제 셔라 고고 말와 제가 되네 상단에 계시셔래.
Just to summarize then what we've been looking at over these first 2 days of the retreat, and summarize in a way that I hope you can take as your meditation, whether here or in your daily practice at home. So in the morning when you wake up and the mind is light and fresh, the very first thing to do is recall the Buddha and one's teacher. If one has a teacher that one feels a close, intimate, emotional connection with, then recall that teacher. Otherwise, if not, then the founder Buddha. And do so then with a mind of faith, understanding that it's through their guidance in terms of the teachings that they give and the instructions on how to develop them within ourselves, that the arisal of those teachings of the Buddha Dharma within us, that is what will protect us from suffering. That is what will free us and liberate us from suffering. So we start out by giving strength to our mind, by generating this mind of faith in our teachers and the Buddha, and the Buddha Dharma. Thereafter, continuing to strengthen this positive mind, we enter into some meditation, reflecting firstly on this precious human rebirth that we've attained, how truly fortunate we are to have this opportunity, reflecting on those around us, on those that we observe who do not have this opportunity. We know there are others who long to go on a retreat, who long to receive teachings, but they don't have the opportunity because of where they live or their other responsibilities in life. So see our fortune that we have some quiet time to meditate. We have the opportunity to receive teachings. And this should bring great joy to our mind, and then we commit to using what remains of this life well, not to waste this life, but to use this precious opportunity as well as we can. So that's the first step in the meditation. The second then is to remind ourselves that myself sitting here on my chair or my cushion, I am no different from each and every other sentient being, in that whomever we are, wherever we are in this world, whatever our views and outlook is, we share the wish to experience only happiness. None of us want problems or difficulties at all, but yet we seem to experience the many problems and difficulties one after the other. And this situation has to end. We have to attain liberation from this suffering situation that is called samsara. We take this meditation and we think in a deeper manner, generating a wish to be freed of suffering. And not just ourselves, but others too. And we use this then to move into the third step of the meditation, which is now much more strongly focused on others. And we use this wish to be freed of suffering to generate love and compassion for others, wanting them to experience only happiness, the mind of love, wanting them to experience no suffering ever again, the mind of compassion. And then and when this feeling has arisen within us in a powerful way, we take on that responsibility of others. So this is the mind of special intention, which says that the suffering of each individual being, the guiding of that being to a state freed of suffering, that is my responsibility. That is not for others. That is my responsibility. And this is the mind of special intention. And then the thought will naturally arise, so how do I fulfill this wish? Because we're not free of suffering ourselves, so how can we lead anyone else? And the answer is that we have to become the most skilled of guides, a being not only liberated from suffering, but whose qualities are perfected and faults are completely eliminated, a Buddha. And with this commitment to attain Buddhahood for the sake of others, we have generated within us the mind of bodhicitta. And that then is the third step. And then the fourth step, the fourth of five, but the main one, this then is a reflection on the activities of a bodhisattva. Now we've given rise to the mind of a bodhisattva, the mind of bodhicitta. Now we engage in the reflection of the six perfections. And here I would encourage you to reflect on all six individually, and depending on your time, how much you can reflect. So first of all, the mind of ethical conduct. So the mind of ethical conduct, in brief, is the wish not to harm, or the commitment not to harm. So an ethical mind is a subdued mind, a tamed mind. And here you reflect that beings are suffering, they have enough problems in their lives. I will not add to their burden. I will not physically relate to others in a way that brings harm. I will not communicate with others in a way that brings harm. And moreover, to ensure this is the case, I will guard my mind, prevent my mind from going in a direction of harm. And when this arises within us in a powerful way, hold that mind, rest with that mind, abide with that mind. And here by doing so, we're strengthening our familiarity with the mind of ethics, strengthening this virtuous imprint, and we're developing concentration on this analytical object. And I would encourage you, through the course of your day, this meditation in particular, quickly call to mind, so that as you go about your daily activities, at the very least, ensure your mind doesn't go in the direction of harm, and thereby you don't physically or verbally bring harm into the lives of others. Then the second practice to look at is that of generosity. So this is the mind that wishes to give, the mind that wants to benefit others. And here we generate the attitude that whatever resources that I have, whether they are material resources or my own inner good qualities, these I attained not just through my own endeavors, but also in dependence on the kindness of others. I have a responsibility to repay that kindness to others. And therefore, the purpose of the resources that I have in abundance is to use to benefit others. The purpose of my own inner good qualities is to share these with others and be of benefit to others. And therefore, whatever opportunity I have, I will seek them out where I can help others, whether it's in a material way in accordance with what I have in abundance, or whether it's through my own inner good qualities. And this then is cultivating the mind of generosity, the wish to give. And if for those who have very, very little that's spare in terms of material resources, generosity can still be practiced fully, because generosity is a mind. It's how generous one isn't about how much material goods one gives. It's about the strength and sincerity of the wish to give, the wish to help and be of benefit to others. This is the practice of generosity. It's a mental practice. And then thirdly, the mind of patience, which is the mind that stays undisturbed in the face of adversity. And this adversity can come about in our interactions with others, or it can arise in terms of our own inner turmoil. So wherever the adversity arises from, here we need to use skill to ensure that our mind stays calm, gentle and spacious, and isn't drawn into responding in a habitual way. So this takes skill and constant training. But if we have generated strong minds of love and compassion, we will not want to harm others. We'll have this mind of ethics as a basis. But the mind of patience goes further than the mind of ethics in that it leads us to not only not respond with harm, but to respond with care, with gentleness, with wisdom. So the mind of patience is a mind that wants to help, even when others are harming us. It's a mind that doesn't give up, even if there's great inner turmoil, because this is a mind that is patient with these difficulties and understands the wider picture, understands the goals to be achieved. And then fourthly, the mind of joyous perseverance. So this is where we remind ourselves of this wonderful opportunity that we have through achieving this rebirth. Through achieving this rebirth, we are now accumulating virtue in this meditation, and we generate joy. We look forward to the next opportunity when we'll have to meditate, the next opportunity when we'll have to receive teachings, the next opportunity when we'll be able to take some time and read a Dharma book. And this mind then, that takes delight in virtue, we strengthen. And then the mind of concentration. So this mind of concentration can be developed in two ways. The easiest, the most effective way for most of us here is to take the technique that I mentioned in the context of ethical conduct, but to use this in all the meditations, whether ethical conduct, generosity, patience, or before love, compassion, special intention. Whatever the meditation, when this feeling arises within you, rest with that feeling. Let it fill you. Become familiar with it. And in this way, you're staying with the object in an undistracted way. You're strengthening your concentration, and you're also strengthening your familiarity with that object of your meditation. The traditional way, and you can include it in your meditation if you wish, is to hold, for example, a Buddha image and hold that single-pointedly, and doing so with the motivation to develop concentration for the benefit of all sentient beings. But perhaps the most effective way is in all these preceding meditations, such as where the wish of bodhicitta arises, this mind of wishing to attain enlightenment for the sake of others, when that arises in one, don't rush to the next step. Rest with it. And in this way, you strengthen your familiarity with bodhicitta as well as your familiarity with the mind, with a concentrated mind. And lastly, the mind of wisdom is one that you would have been using throughout, because we're doing analytical meditation, investigating. So before, in the second step, when we were looking at the faults of cyclic existence, we can do this again now, but we did it there too. We investigate that where the suffering comes from that we are experiencing, our afflicted minds, which have as their root the ignorance of self-grasping. So here then, one can perhaps meditate further on the wisdom that eliminates, or that is contrary to this ignorance, the wisdom realizing emptiness. And if we are attending the teachings on dependent arising, then you'll have a lot of familiarity by now with meditating on dependent arising and combining this with a meditation on the lack of inherent existence. And this then is the meditation on wisdom. So these meditations here, if you do them repeatedly over a sustained period, change will come. And it's the key aspect here is to do this repeatedly over a sustained period. It's not about how long, but it's continuously doing it and regularly doing it, because you'll quickly build a habit. And this way, you'll start to change your way of thinking, change your way of relating to others, change your way of relating to circumstances around you, change your way of thinking. And then lastly, the fifth step is to generate prayers like we've been hearing today. And the one that I'd encourage you to make as the fifth and final step in the meditation is that in all our future lives, through this virtue that I've accumulated, made ensure that I can continue to practice the Buddha Dharma for the sake of others. And to do so, wherever my lamas choose to take rebirth, may I take rebirth there, meet them at a young age, and immediately have faith in them, receive ordination from them, and spend my life studying and reflecting and meditating on their teachings, and thereby cultivating the minds of the Mahayana Dharma within myself, and developing the qualities of love and compassion and wisdom, just like my teachers have done. And may I do so from life to life, until I fulfill heart wish of my teachers, and that is I arise as a Buddha, the most skilled of guides, and be of greatest benefit to suffering beings in this world. Okay, sorry, we've ended quite late. I apologize for that. Thank you very much.